So we just learned how to do random sampling methods and the different methods that we have for to run an experiment, right? But now, how do we actually apply this? We're going to talk about economic segregation that happens in America, and specifically, we're going to be looking at the city of San Antonio. So most American cities have severe economic segregation. This means that households in the same neighborhood have similar income, but incomes across the neighborhoods tend to be quite different. Multiple reports have found that San Antonio is the most economically segregated city in the United States. The following activity investigates the challenges of sampling incomes in San Antonio. So first one is a judgment sample. This is where we're going to randomly select 5 homes that we think are representative of the whole population of San Antonio. Label the home numbers on the bottom line and their incomes on the top line. Calculate the mean of these incomes and record your answer in the space provided. So here's what I'm going to do first. So we're going to look at this map. And they're asking us to pick 5 random homes that we think are representative of San Antonio. And I'm going to mark that with a purple pencil. So I'm going to choose 94, 43, 15, 51, and 59. So we got 94, 15, and then we got 43, 51, and 59. Now I'm going to look at what these incomes are. So I'm going to use this list down here to tell me what the incomes are. So starting with 94, the income of household 94 is 166,000. So we got 166,000. Let's look at housing 15. They are at 27,500. It's a pretty big difference if you look at it, right? 27,500. I look at 43. So for 43, we got 95,000. So this one is 95,000. 51. 51 is 48,000. And 59 is 107,500. So 107,500. Now it's asking us to find the mean. And we know that the mean is asking us to add all these numbers up and divide it by the total numbers we have. So we're going to add all these numbers up and divide by 5. So if I add these up, I'm going to get, my average is 71,700. Okay. So that's one way to do it. But we know that that's not really the best ways to do sampling, right? We can't just pick whatever we want because there's a lot of bias in that. Maybe I was attracted to the bigger circles, or maybe because I was conscious about the bigger circles, I tried to pick some of the smaller circles to help balance that out. One of the best ways to do a sampling is to use an SRS. So using a random number generator to select 5 homes numbered between 1 and 100 and label the home numbers on the bottom line and their incomes on the top line. Calculate the mean of these incomes and record your answer in the space provided. So I'm going to open up a random number generator, right? And you can, of course, do this on your computer or do this on your calculators. So I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 100. So I'm going to have to change my lower and upper bounds. I'm going to start generating stuff. So the first number is 41. So I have number 41 right here. Next, 87. Next is 60. Next, 27 and 71. So we got 27 and 71. Now I'm going to go and look at that chart to find out all those numbers are. I'm going to write them down and then jump ahead so that y'all can see it. Okay, so here are the numbers for the different houses that we had chosen. So house 41 had a income of 214,500. House 87 had 47,000. House 60 had 85,000. House 27 had 45,500. And house 71 was 25,000. Now I'm going to calculate the mean. So I'm going to add up all these numbers and divide by 5. And I get a mean of 83,400. Now let's say we want to do this in clusters. We're going to use a random number generator to select one home numbered between 1 and 100. Find the home on the map as well as 4 homes located close to it. Label the home numbers on the bottom lines and their incomes on the top line. Calculate the mean of the incomes and record your answer in the space provided. So what this is telling me is that I'm going to actually pick one house. All right, we're looking at house 26. So I'm going to write that part down first. House 26. Now on the map, I'm going to find house 26. And if I look at it, house 26 is right here. Here's house 26. I'm going to find 4 other homes that are close by. So that's 70, 25, 24, and 14. So we have 24, 25, 70, and 14. I'm going to use the same list to figure out what the incomes are. So I'm going to do that, and then you'll be able to see it. So here are the incomes for the 5 houses. House 26 had an income of 29,500. House 24 had an income of 27,000. House 25 had an income of 31,500. House 70 had an income of 36,000. And house 14 had an income of 25,000. So now I'm going to find the mean by adding up all these numbers and dividing by 5. And when I do this, I get a mean of 29,800. Find a page. So now we're going to do a stratified random sampling. Find a page with the title Strata by Race Ethnicity, in which the homes are divided by predominant race. We're going to use a random number generator to select one home within each strata. All right. So, for example, if we're looking at the Asian strata, right, I would actually have to change my random number generator so that the numbers are between 56 to 58. So if I do this, my minimum is 56, my maximum is 58. And I'm going to pick one number, 56. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that so I remember, 56. For black housing, we're going to look at the numbers 59 to 66. So I'm going to put this in a random number generator, 59 to 66. I'm going to pick one number, and it's 63. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that. Now we're looking at Hispanic. They range from house number 1 all the way to house number 55. So I'm going to change my random number generator to 1 to 55. And that's 40. So we're looking at housing number 40. Native Americans make up the house number 67 to 71. So 67 to 71. And we're going to do 67. And lastly, for whites, we're going to do 72 to 100. So 72 to 100. And we're going to pick house 93. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write all these down so I can find the pricing. So we have 56, 40, 63, 67, and 93. I'm going to go ahead and write these in so that y'all can see what the housing prices are. Okay, so I just went ahead and wrote down all the housing price or incomes for each of these houses, and now I'm going to find the mean. So I'm going to add all these numbers up and divide by 5. And I get a mean of 88,900. Lastly, we're going to go over the systematic random sampling. I'm going to use the random number generator to select a number between 1 and 20, and this is going to be the first house that I start with. Then after that, I'm going to add 20 to each of the previous number to find the other 4. So this time, I'm going to do from 1 to 20, and I'm going to select a number to start with, 18. So my first number is 18, and I'm using a system of picking every 20th. So this is going to be 38, 58, 78, and 98. And I'm going to go ahead and write in those incomes right now. So here are the incomes for the 5 houses. Let's find the mean now. I'm going to add these numbers up and divide by 5 to get the mean. So I get a mean of 51,000. Okay. Those were the 4 ways to do a sampling method, and how you would apply it to this problem.